Hola, buenas. Welcome to Medellin, Colombia. So, today I want to talk to you about some major differences between Costa Rica and Medellin, Colombia. I'm Ebony, licensed clinical social worker. I travel abroad while building my private practice and just dropping jewels to other people along the way. So, today I want to tell you 10 major differences that I see between Costa Rica and Medellin. So, if you didn't know, I started my abroad journey about 6 months ago from the US to Costa Rica. I moved there because I knew a family there. My son had a friend there. I thought it would be a soft landing. And it wasn't so soft. It could have been a lot worse. But what I learned from Costa Rica for me, it's a place to visit once in a lifetime, but not to live there for me. So I need more culture, more liveliness. So I made my way over to Medellin because I've heard nothing but wonderful things about it, and I see why. So after 2 weeks of living here, these are the ten biggest differences between Medellin and Costa Rica. So, number one is the weather. You know, South America, Colombia, and Costa Rica, they both have their rainy seasons, and that's usually between May and November-ish. And then their summer is December through April-ish, right? So between May and November, it's expected to be a lot of rain. But in Costa Rica, it's guaranteed a lot of rain. Like every day, it really messes up your plans, especially if you live in the hills and it's cold. Here in Medellin, look, it's about almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No rain. It's not super hot. It's beautiful. I got on a cute Medellin t-shirt and some joggers. You can enjoy it. You have a lot of covered space. I'm on my balcony. It's The weather here, no doubt, is more functional. In Costa Rica, then they have a lot of landslides. No. So the difference is they both have their rainy seasons, but Costa Rica's rainy season, it rains every day. And then if you have to dry your laundry outdoors, just forget about it. Just forget about it. Number two, infrastructure. So no doubt Colombia's infrastructure is better. Look at this. These are buildings, they're everywhere. I'm in a big high rise condominium on the 18th floor, and it gives you beautiful views. You got the mountains back there. This is so beautiful. It looks AI generated, but I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. Okay. It just goes for days and days. I'll span the camera. Okay, everywhere there is modern buildings, um, nestled in with the jungle with greenery. It's beautiful. We got the metro here. There's a lot more sustainable infrastructure here. Costa Rica is just it's older time, not as modern. Um, you don't see a lot of buildings like this. It's just a lot of countryside. It's behind. I think Costa Rica is best for older people. If you older, then go there. But if you still are lively, still want to do things, still want to be around the city life in a calmer way, like definitely Medellin is better. So infrastructure, Medellin. Bugs. So, no lie. Okay, so I know that Costa Rica is responsible for 5% of the Earth's biodiversity, yada, yada, yada. But yo, you gonna get tore up by the bugs. There's bugs everywhere, and you can't get rid of them, and you can't hide from them. And no matter how much you clean, there's bugs. I mean, spiders, cicadas, spiders, geckos. Geckos. How many geckos have gotten into my house while when I was living there in those few months? Like so many. And to them it's normal. And I get it, but even off doesn't work in Costa Rica. You'd be like, oh, let me spray this off. Let me get prepared. That's nothing to them. You're gonna get ate up. It's after a few months, they you don't get so many bug bites because I guess you adjust to it. They get sick of your blood or whatever. But for the first few months, you're gonna be tore up. Here in Medellin, I don't think I don't remember being bit yet. Knock on wood. But also, I think it's because there's so many high rises. I'm on the 18th floor, so ain't no geckos getting up here, right? Ain't no flies getting up in here. I don't have that problem. But even when I'm out and about, just exploring the city, they keep it pretty clean. Is busy. They have street people starting at the crack of dawn, cleaning up the streets. So it's the bugs here. I know that they're here, but they don't bother you. And I appreciate that. So for real. Number four, housing. Housing. When I was in Costa Rica, I had to move 3 times. Oh my God, 3 times. But it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It was just false advertisement. There's no real estate regulations there. So you could think you're renting from someone and you get there and it's a lot of undisclosed information. They're slow on fixing things. No, Costa Rica, I didn't like the housing. For what you get, it's not worth it. Like, I always paid above $1,000 a month for rent because anything less than that was not in my taste. I like to live a certain way. Not that I got to be on the Beverly Hills or whatever, but I need a washer and preferably a dryer. I need there to be security or some type of gate. I need 2 bedrooms, right? Because it's not just me, preferably with an office. Like there's certain things that I need to live comfortably. So anything I liked was over $1,000. Um, but you don't get what you pay for. It's expensive for no reason. Costa Rica is expensive for no reason and it pisses me off. Here in Medellin, just book an Airbnb. You're going to get a fair rate. It's much cheaper than the US. Like I have a 3 bedroom, 2 full bath condominium in Sabaneta, and from Airbnb because when you go to a foreign country, you don't want to deal with realtors. You don't want to do you don't do that. Just get your butt on Airbnb. And then once you get there and you make connections, then maybe you can veer off of that. But even for a 3 bedroom, 2 full bath condominium with the rooftop pool, the gym, 24-hour security, it's beautiful, fully furnished. It's about $1,400 a month. That's pretty fair. That's fair. Okay. So if you can do about $1,400 a month, you can get something to your liking, well, to my liking. But I have a kid. If it was just me, I would not be in a 3 bedroom. If it was just me, I wouldn't care about some of the things, right? But I got to make sure that my son is comfortable too. So that affects my budget. It's okay. All right. But in Costa Rica, you're going to get the bare minimum. You ain't going to get no washer and dryer, no AC. You're not going to get no pool. You're not going to get none of the amenities. And you're going to be paying for something good and decent. I mean, about 1,500, right? But it goes way higher than that. All right. The next thing, number five, schools. The difference between schools in Medellin and Medellin and Costa Rica. So for kids, let me talk about kids. Okay, coming from the States, I have one son. I have been homeschooling him on and off, but even when he does go to school, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, I'm teaching him things at home, right? So coming from the US, he went to a private school. It was like a rigorous education. Like I could see that he was learning things, right? So I put him in a private school in Costa Rica. And first of all, it's expensive. Number one, you got to pay the tuition, which is about like $550 a month, $550 a month, US dollars. That does not include their books. You got to buy their books in addition to that in Costa Rica. Their school uniforms. You got to buy school uniforms, books, pay tuition, and the school bus is not free. So even though we lived about a 12-15 minute walk from my son's private school in Costa Rica, it's very hilly, very hilly. So after a while, your body really can't do that twice a day. Really, for me, it was 4 times a day because I would walk him there, drop him off at school, then I would walk back alone. Then at 1:15, I would walk back to the school, pick him up, and then walk back. So 4 times a day, I'm making that trip. Talk about legs on fire. Okay. So I was like, yo, where the school bus? Where the transportation? And it was like, okay, well, that's an extra $80 a month. So tuition, school uniforms, school supplies, transportation. Oh, and then their lunches. Then you have to pay for their you have to provide their snacks and their school lunches. So you're feeding them 3 meals a day plus snacks. It was and then their school is not really equipped to handle kids with special needs. So, my son does not have special needs. I mean, he needs to be discipline sometimes, but no. So children with autism and children with other learning disabilities, they're all put into this one class. And I'm not with that. I'm not with putting like all kids have to be on the same level. So if one kid is behind or has right a disability, then that affects the other kids. And so he wasn't learning nothing. The work that he was doing was stuff he learned in kindergarten. I'm like, this is not worth it. And then on top of that, you're in an environment where there's children with behavior. So it's just not worth it. So no, no, no. So now that we're in Colombia, I'm like, girl, just do homeschool. I'm just gonna stick to the homeschool plan that I've been wanting to do since he was going to kindergarten. But I just feel like I've been pressured every step of the way to put him in a traditional school. And I've tried public, private, international. And I just think it's the school model in general, wherever it is in the world. I'm just not with it. I'm more with learning practical skills. It's more important to me that he continues to learn Spanish and becomes bilingual. Speaking of which, we are both taking Spanish classes here in Colombia, right? That's a skill that I can definitely use in my private practice and everyday life to reach more clients and more people in general, to communicate, to give access to. Like, that's going to be dope. And then for him as a kid, as a black boy growing up, like the world is his oyster when he becomes bilingual. So that's priority number one: math, reading, writing. That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're focusing on in homeschool, and he's doing really good. We go out to eat or we go out, and he's requesting things in Spanish, and he's becoming more confident with speaking the language. And I'm really happy. I'm proud. So that's what we doing. Number six, transportation. Hands down. So in Costa Rica, all you got are your 2 feet, a friend if they want to give you a ride, and you got Uber. You got Uber, and of course, like the local taxi cab. They're red taxi cabs that are there, but those can be expensive. Those red taxi cabs. When we lived in Costa Rica, at first we lived in the Central Valley the whole time, but it was Gracia. And then we moved to Escazú, which is in San Jose, the capital. And Escazú is more modern. It has like malls and, a little bit more things to do, but it ain't nothing to do there. So, transportation can get daunting because Uber is not is expensive, I think, in Costa Rica. Like it's not cheap. um the hills is hilly. There's no metro. Somebody told me they got a train there, but I ain't seen no train. They do have buses, which are pretty, I think, inexpensive. Like if you want to go to the Caribbean coast, Puerto Viejo or Guanacaste or all them places, like you can get on a bus for about 10 to 15 bucks. Okay, cool. But where the metro? In Medellin, here we go. We got the metro. It's so easy too, and they keep it clean. The Ubers are abundant. Yeah, transportation, and I like to get around. I like to do stuff, be spontaneous. They have buses here. I haven't caught the bus here in Medellin yet, but I see it. I see it. I just usually walk to the metro station and go from there. I like to walk. I do. Anyway, number seven, things to do slash food. The differences in things to do slash food, which goes in hand with transportation. Because if you can't get there, if it's hard to get there, if it's expensive to get there, like who wants to do anything? So, of course, things to do here are pretty cool. So I told you that I'm taking Spanish lessons with Elefun, Elefun, Elefun. I think their website is elefun.com or .org. Look it up. I'll put the link in the description. But I highly recommend them. It's a great staff, no hassle, and the classes are so informative. You could do online or in person. But anyway, now that I'm connected with Elefun Spanish School, like they do weekly immersive experiences. Last week we went to Sabin at the park and got to see, like the oldest restaurants and just like more history. Um, what else? Oh, they invite you to weekly salsa or bachata dance classes that are free to us students. And so that's awesome. And they're always doing something, always doing something. In the neighborhood I live in Sabaneta, it's bustling. Like I'll show you one day. But it's bustling. Like the grocery store is 2 blocks away. Everywhere you go, there's food, there's restaurants, there's food, there's restaurants everywhere. And I'm like, y'all all making money. Like, wow, it's really not a capitalist society because there's such an abundance of things and nobody seems to be in competition. That's my take on it from Medellin. I haven't been to the other parts like Cartagena, Cali, but Medellin is cool. But the food, I like the food in Medellin, but there's a difference. In Costa Rica, there's more fruits, more variety of fruits. Maybe I just don't know where to go check yet here in Medellin. I got to go to a fruit market here or a feria, right? I got to find it. But in Costa Rica, there's such an abundance of fruits: mamon, guanape, mangoes, like it's everywhere. Manduras, they're everywhere. I knew where the farrier was, which is the weekly market. But I haven't found the weekly market here. So I've been just like relying on when I see the vendors on the street, I'm like, oh, but their fruits in here in Medellin is not as good, or I haven't seen the variety, the abundance that I saw in Costa Rica, but I'm gonna find it because I know it's here. I want some mamon. I got some mangoes in there, but they're not ready to eat yet. I need some more. I love the fruit in Costa Rica. I will give Costa Rica that. They got some good fruit. But the food, as far as other stuff in Colombia, is super good. And I order stuff. I have to feed two of us, me and my son. And so I'm ordering two things to eat per meal. And I'm spending on average maybe $10 to $15 per every time we eat out. So you can eat out for a single person for like $5, $6 per meal. It's pretty cool. And Costa Rica is expensive as hell. Like, why y'all charging $30 for, the menu of the day or just like the basics? Costa Rica is expensive for no reason. Like, I know your name is Rich Coast, but we need to rename you. We need to do something else. So, people, number 8, the difference between people in Costa Rica and Medellin. Okay, the people in Costa Rica, I think they're more avoidant type people, like they're not really gonna confront you. Um, they're kind of flaky. They are. They may agree to do something and then don't do it, but I guess that's everywhere. But the people in Costa Rica are cool. They're cool. They're all right. The people in Colombia, they're nice and inviting, but there's a level of watch your back here in Medellin. It is, especially with the men. This is South America, the machismo, I don't know what it is, but if you don't know the language, which is Spanish, I would not advise talking too much to the men. I will say that because you don't know what they're saying, you don't know what their intentions are, and this is Medellin. Or this is just life. This is life in general, okay? So, but the women are pretty cool. I have no problems with the people here, but it is like uh, I think the people in Colombia are more stern. Like they're nice, they're laughing, but they're more business minded. You see them all on the metro, they're going to work. In Costa Rica, you don't really see that. A lot of people are just going with the flow. Here in Colombia, it's like a New York. We got things to do, people to see. What's up? So, overall, I don't prefer either country's people over the other. It's just a slight difference. And of course, the main language in both is Espanol. I think a little bit more people spoke English in Costa Rica than Medellin, but in both countries, most of the people don't speak English, they speak Spanish. So that's why I'm in school. Number 9, only 2 more. Number 9, the cost. As you know, Costa Rica is just expensive for no reason. It's just the groceries expensive. Even at the market, even at the street vendors, you'd be like, why is this $10, $10 to $15 on some dragon fruit or just some grapes? Grapes in Costa Rica for a bag of grapes is like $10 because they are imported. But I love grapes. So, I mean, Costa Rica is expensive for no effing reason. In Colombia, the most expensive thing is going to be your housing. And you can control that for the most part, right? And you really can get something like I know someone here. His rent was about 665 a month, 2 bedroom. Right, it's not where I would stay. Right, it's in the El Centro, it's in the middle of the city. Not for me, but that's why I pay a little bit more because I like a certain type of environment. But you can get down to like $500 for rent, all the way up to where I'm at almost $1,500 a month. It's just what your lifestyle calls for and what you can do. Right. Um, Costa Rica expensive, expensive, expensive. Colombia, you really can get food, $5 a meal, the menu of the day where you get fish, rice, salad, like $5 a day. I got Rappi 2 meals. They give you like coupons. I spent like $6 for 2 meals and delivery from Rappi yesterday. Excuse me, yesterday. Colombia. Colombia. Number 10 and the final one is overall quality of life. Now, I think it depends on what stage of life you're in. Like, if you are older, you're chilling, it's really about what you're called to. But for me, Colombia is a better overall quality of life. Um, the metro system, the art. It's such beautiful art, Afrocentric art. I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing Afro puffs and beautiful full lips and dark skin and murals. Um, I mean, is what fits you. And for me, Medellin fits me better than Costa Rica. Now, disclaimer, will I stay here forever? Who knows? Who knows? You know, I am like a bird. Um, but for now, I really like it here. And I know that it's a place that I could always live and be successful. And the more that I learn Spanish, the better it's going to become. So these are the differences between Costa Rica and Medellin, Colombia. I'm going to give you a view. Look, so beautiful. And I hope y'all have a good Saturday. Peace.